Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Snap Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host Lando, here solo, talking about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. We got the news this week that Damien Williams opted out of the NFL, and I'm here to help you and tell you what I think the impact is, where you should draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and where I see him, where I'm projecting him for his fantasy output for 2020. Number one, we did an episode on Clyde earlier this offseason, right after the draft. You can hit the link right here to check that out. Very early, optimistic outlook on him, but that was with Damien involved at the time. Still, early on, we assumed that there was going to be a full season, full OTAs, training camp, rookie camp, all that. As we know, things have changed drastically, and here is my reaction video. All right. Number one, I'm going to talk about his backup, Deandre Washington, and where I see his impact being. And I really don't see much of an impact for Deandre. He showed spurts in Vegas. And he did okay with it. But I think that's all it will be. That's going to be the average, maybe touchdown vulture from Clyde. He's going to be a third down back, second down back. But generally, I do believe that the Kansas City Chiefs will use Clyde in a three-down running back role. First, second, third down, Clyde can do it all. And this is where I see him going. The Kansas City Chiefs are known to use a running back really well. Damien Williams, although he didn't have a great season, they still used him down the stretch. That's why people were worried. People were worried that Damien was going to be involved in the first 3 to 4 games. We, as a podcast, we're probably projecting Clyde to take the role after week 5. But now things have changed. Things are a lot different. I have seen Clyde getting drafted earlier and earlier, and you'll see that in your home leagues. In an FFPC league, a high-stakes league, a league where thousands of dollars are on the line for the winner, I've seen Clyde go at the 101, 102 spot. So that's just showing you how really smart drafters are taking and where the upside is for Clyde. You can even stack him with a Patrick Mahomes if you can. That gives you that really good stack for the most upside you possibly can. The Kansas City Chiefs are a team that runs through the air. Even if they're ahead in games, I could still see play action, check downs to Clyde, and they're going to run, but also they're going to pass the ball, but it's going to seem like a run. Those screen passes, where Clyde being 5'7", just over 200 pounds, he'll still be involved in all facets of the game. That was one of his best roles in college for LSU was his route running. He's an excellent route runner, really good pass catcher, and that's where he will be used the most, I believe, in Kansas City. So in any PPR, half PPR leagues, I could see him going as the 4th, 5th running back off the board. Now, projections for this year. So Jamal Charles is as far as we can go back, where we've seen a really good running back. I mean, unless you want to go Priest Holmes, but let's go Jamal Charles. He was only 5'11", 200 pounds, and they really used him very well. He had games and seasons with over 200 or with 285 carries, 259, 206, and he was extremely efficient in Kansas City. He had one season with over 100 targets. I could see that kind of workload for Clyde. Even Kareem Hunt had one with Kansas City with over 272 rush attempts, and then around 63 targets. That is again in the cards for Clyde. So a heavy workload could be involved for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Whether they will use him, I think we're not going to project that for a first-year rookie, but Kareem Hunt was. Now, people think that the draft pick for Kansas City was way too early. They should have taken a safety. They should have gone elsewhere. Kansas City as a whole has had success with third-round running backs, including Jamal Charles and Kareem Hunt. So they know better. They know they could wait on running backs, but they went after their guy. So I don't think they're too concerned that Damien Williams opted out, and they will use Clyde to his fullest potential. This is the guy that Patrick Mahomes likes. You've heard that narrative over and over again, and they are going to use him to the best of the ability. So where I want to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and now in this, I want to take him at that 1-2 turn, whether it's the 111 or the 202. That is where I'm willing to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire. People might reach for him, but I think there's still a lot of value for him even before that take. So, and there's value before that. So I much prefer him over guys like Austin Eckler. I like him over Kenyon Drake. And it's going to be tough for me between him and Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders popped off, and I really like him. If you watch the podcast, you know I'm a big fan of Miles Sanders. But I do think the opportunity in Kansas City is so much greater. The touchdown upside is so much greater for Clyde that I don't blame you if you're willing to take Clyde instead of Miles Sanders. But that's kind of where I draw the line. If you have any more questions, so here I'll go. Before you ask the questions, let me tell you. I'll take Christian McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke Elliott, Kamara, Derrick Henry, potentially Dalvin Cook, and Josh Jacobs. I would take all those guys before Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you're drafting in September and Dalvin Cook still wants that money and he's thinking about still holding out, even after going to training camp and the preseason, if he still wants that money, maybe consider fading him a little bit and maybe taking a guy like Clyde Edwards-Helaire up there, willing to prove himself in his rookie year. Now you hear the narrative as well to fade rookies because they're missing OTAs. They miss rookie training camp. This is a guy where opportunity is king, and he's going to get that opportunity. Similar to guys like Henry Ruggs and Jalen Reagor, where the missing of training camp and the offseason, I think that won't matter. They're going to get force-fed the ball. The coaches are going to want to get their playmakers involved. These are players that really teams reached on and got ahead of where their probably ADP was, and that's where I think they're going to get the opportunity early in the season to perform and show that they can do it. So again, Reagor, Ruggs, Clyde, really good guys. Jonathan Taylor is another guy that I really like, but he wasn't really reached on to the extent. And they still have veterans like Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines there to take those early in the season touches away from Jonathan Taylor. It might only take him 6 to 7 games to get that full workhorse role. He's an extremely talented running back. He's a guy that I really believe in, but you still need to win those fantasy games. You're going to have to take a guy like Taylor third, fourth round in your fantasy drafts, and if he doesn't have the role, it's going to be very hard to win your league. So this is why there's so much emphasis on winning, and that's why Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a rookie that I'm willing to take a shot on. So what if they sign a veteran? What if they sign a Devonta Freeman or Lamar Miller? That's also not something I'm concerned about. There could be some goal line vulturing, like I was saying, from Lamar Miller. He's a bowling ball. He's a guy that can get in the red zone. But at the same time, touchdowns are so hard to predict in the NFL that a guy like Clyde with his speed, agility, can take it in from anywhere. And we know with Patrick Mahomes pushing the ball way downfield that, for all we know, Clyde could be running routes and get the targets instead of a guy like Sammy Watkins or Mecole Hardman. So Clyde, I think, could be used all over the field, in the slot, in the backfield, in screenplays, and he's just going to be a gadget weapon for them, no problem. They have enough guys. You figured they'd have enough guys with Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, but Clyde is going to be used in that way because they took him in the first round. They believe in him, and I think he's going to get every opportunity over and over again to produce for your fantasy team. So having him too early, I think there's still some high risk involved, but I do like him late in the first round now. I get it. It's risky, but he has league winning upside, and we play fantasy to win, not to lose. That sounds obvious, but you have to get the guys that have the chance to win. Sometimes those safe guys aren't as safe as you might think. And getting a running back that presumed is safe with the workload that Clyde will get, rather than a wide receiver with the upside, like a Tyreek Hill. I would take Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill has the facets of league winning upside, but he has those big boom spike weeks, and where I think a running back will be a lot safer. Even if he doesn't have a great week, he'll still have a very serviceable week on your fantasy team. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. We're gonna keep doing this stuff. COVID is having a crazy impact on the NFL this year. We're gonna keep you up to date. and any strategies that might change as we get more players opting out. As of right now, the deadline for opting out is August, I believe, 6th. So hopefully no big superstars opt out before then. Anyways, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Put those notifications on, like, comment on the video. We are on social media at snap_fantasy, and we are trying to grind, guys, and to keep producing content for you to help you win your fantasy leagues. All right, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.